Welcome to another episode of Call to Marriage. I'm Marcia.
And I'm Thomas.
We're back. It's been a while.
We're back.
Yep, but we are back. And we're back with a little bit of a different structure today. And maybe for the next few episodes, we usually like to open up with the scripture and then go through maybe something related to our personal lives. I don't know. We have a kind of like a format that if you are a regular listener, you are accustomed to. But this time we are going to be
switching it up.
You know, this is a little more, I don't know if I should say conversational. We're musing on a topic and we're putting forth an idea, if you will. And, you can take it or leave it. All right. So today we are talking about the fact that date night is overrated.
That's right.
In our opinion. The fact that, in our opinion. Okay, so date night is overrated. There's some guy out there right now watching this who is trying to figure out what he's going to do for his girlfriend or for his wife, next Friday for date night. And he's stressed out looking through maybe some book or Googling on the internet how to, or what date idea he can carry out. And there's some girl out there, wherever,
somewhere,
in the ether, who's mad at their significant other because significant other dropped the ball the past 2 date nights. And you don't even remember, or somebody else don't even remember the last time they had a date night and they're upset. Okay, and I need you guys to know that it's okay. Date night is not necessary. Date night is good. Nothing wrong with it. But date night is not as necessary as society would have you think that it is. And it's certainly not necessary for a healthy marriage. It's not. It's just not.
I think I understand why a lot of people make such noise around date night. It's like it's become the universal thing that you need to do. Like if you're in a relationship, if you're married, you need to go on date nights. That's it's almost as though like if you were to tell someone, your marriage has been a little rocky and you're going through some difficult times. It's almost as though the first question they'll ask is, have you guys been going on date nights? Like, when was the last time you went out on a date? And if you said, I don't remember, then it will be like, bam.
That's the problem. That's it.
Oh, gosh. But it's not always the case, I think we do understand the sentiments behind people preaching, a lot of date nights. And it is that you and your spouse need to spend time together. You need to carve out time to, spend some quality time. And that's really what people mean when they talk about date nights. Also, I think, I could be wrong, but I think when I hear people bring up date nights, I see a good spirit behind that. It's like, well, you need to spend time with your spouse. You need to have a you time where, both of you would go out somewhere or do something together. If you have kids, maybe do something away from the kids. Just you and your spouse spending time together. And I get that. But I think it's overrated because, and this is my opinion, it's primarily because I think it doesn't factor in the individual circumstances of most couples. It's like date nights sometimes just don't fit because, and you can speak to this, date nights, if we are talking about date nights, we are most likely talking about money, right? If you're going to go out, a lot of people like to go out and, we're talking about finances. So if you're looking at a couple whose finances are not in good shape and, society is beating the date night drum, it's like now they feel the pressure to go out on a date, but they don't have the money to go out on a date. And I think we need a lot more options besides or beyond date nights, which is why I think date night is overrated.
I'm always looking.
Pardon my voice, I have a little cold, so I'm struggling a little bit. Yeah.
Not to mention we are tired.
Yeah, we're tired.
Not to mention, again, this is the second time we're recording this, so
yeah,
I don't know, but we'll see.
It's
what
hard
we get.
out here in these streets, it's not easy.
Here in these streets. Anyway, so I'm the kind of person who I like simplicity. And I often ask myself, how were things back in the day, or how, kind of like the essence of a thing, I guess.
Mm.
And so again, date night, I don't see anything wrong with it really. But when I talk about overrated, I mean, you would swear that it is absolutely necessary for a healthy marriage. And it's just not. There was a time, when we were not in this consumeristic culture that we're in, where there's a shop on every corner and, no shortage of activities and things to do or whatever. Yep. We were just living out in the open, The activity was to go to the neighbor's house or, I'm joking. I don't know what people did back, for 2,000 years ago. But anyway, even if you do a date that is cheap or free, because there are those, and there are some awesome books that give lots of tips about like some cheap date night ideas.
Date on budget.
Yeah, dates on a budget. Yeah, those things do exist. And so it's not necessarily that a date has to be expensive. But the thing is, I think most people are inclined to spend money, particularly here in America. Oh my gosh. There's just so much to spend money on. Like date nights are typically, encouraged to be you and your spouse. So if you have kids, where are you gonna drop them off? Not everybody has, grandma who's willing to babysit them for free. Some people have to pay somebody to babysit their kids. And even if you go to the park where it's free and you guys can just sit outside and, reminisce or cast, dream dreams about, what you want your future to look like. That's fun. Like that's great. But there's always going to be something to tempt you to spend money. You go to the park.
The ice cream truck pulls up.
Exactly. You go to the truck and the ice cream, to the park and the ice cream truck is driving by. Or there's a food truck around. You guys get hungry. Even if you bring your own food, that's a lot of effort, which is another topic I'm going to bring up right after this to get everything ready for that. But even if you have your food, even if you manage to get a free babysitter, there's always going to be something that, you end up, not always, but a lot of times there will be something that will end up causing you to spend money because it's just, we brought dinner, but we didn't bring dessert. So let's go, let's just go to the ice cream, place real quick dessert? Or whatever. Let's go get a brownie, whatever the case, But let's just say, even if the date is completely free, which is really, cool, people are encouraging people to go on date nights like every other week, once a month. And some people just don't have it in their budget. They may be able to do it free this week. But what about the next date night and the next date night and the next date night? You know what I'm saying? It's hard to come up with free date nights. What's half of 52? 26 weeks in a year, it's hard.
Yeah,
you
run
out
hard.
Of ideas. But even if it's free, so there's another aspect to which you have to be creative. You have to, put all this effort in order to make the free thing work and the free thing fun. So, and which is something I just don't enjoy, like I don't going to the park. I do enjoy going to the park. That's not what I'm trying to say. But in order to like make it feel like a date, I feel like the word date comes with a connotation, right? And with an expectation. And so by the time you really make it what you think a date should be, it's going to really require a level of creativity and a level of effort that some people just don't have it. Like some people don't know how to do that, are not interested in doing that. And I don't think it's absolutely necessary for your husband to be, great at planning these dates that, are so fun or whatever. And I don't think it's necessary, wife, for you to Also stress out about that.
And this is not to say, that you shouldn't invest in your marriage, whether financially or, with your time or whatever. Absolutely, you should invest in your marriage, but we're talking about the pressures that ideas like date night, going out on date can introduce within the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it doesn't do justice to paying attention to the relevant conditions within the marriage. Different marriages are at different levels, So the point is, you be true to who you are, be true to your marriage, be true to your spouse's character. If your spouse doesn't really enjoy the whole idea of going out on dates and it stresses them out, don't force them.
Right. It doesn't make
Yeah.
it doesn't make them a bad person,
Yeah.
because they don't want to do date nights. That's just not everybody's thing.
Right.
And
There you can go.
Yeah, as you were mentioning earlier, I mean, it's date night is really not about the date itself. And when you overthink that concept of date night, it becomes a chore for a lot of people. And It's not meant to be a chore. And it's not meant to be an expectation. And then things don't go well and it becomes an unmet expectation and whatever. It's just not supposed to be all that. I think we have to look at the sentiment behind it, which I do think is good and which I think we should take away from the concept of date night. So I feel like, I don't know what everybody has in mind when it comes to date nights, but the main thing that comes to mind for us is, spending quality time with the person that you love, with your partner, with your spouse.
That's right.
So quality time is important, but it can be any which way. It doesn't have to be planned for the second Friday of the month. It can literally be, we're going to Target. And, most of the Targets these days have a Starbucks inside of them. So we're going to Target and we look at the Starbucks and we're like, hey, let's sit and get a coffee and just chat.
Have a good time, yeah.
Let's just chat. Let's just hang out before we start grocery shopping, or maybe at the end of our grocery shopping if we didn't get frozen stuff. So we just sit and just take that opportunity. Was it planned? No. You could call it spontaneous, but it's not even necessarily spontaneous. It's just, we just live in our life. We're like, yeah, I feel like a coffee. You want to get a coffee? And we just enjoy the time together.
That's it. And it's okay to have the kid around.
Exactly. Kid is with us. No problem. We take the kid to the library. Kiddo is playing in the kids area.
Yeah.
And, the two of us are sitting on a beanbag, chilling.
That's right.
We're chatting. We're hanging out, We're at home. Okay. We're watching a movie. I know some people do consider that a date night, and that's good, but they want it to be planned though. Like, it has to be in the calendar that we plan to have, a stay at home movie night or whatever. But for us, it's like, Charlie's sick. He has a hard time going down. We don't know what time he's going to go down. But today he's on the up and up and he goes to bed at 7. Praise God. Let's just put on a movie,
That's right.
Just like that. And it really is that simple. Like, it's about spending time. And it's also about not being lazy with your marriage, because your marriage is very important, right? It's a covenant. And anytime you see that it needs to be nurtured, make the effort to nurture it, right? Like, put effort toward it. Be intentional. That's what I was thinking that escaped me earlier. Yeah, be intentional. So that's the other thing I feel like is the sentiment behind date nights, is to be intentional about, doing
making
things for
investments into your
making investments into your marriage,
to grow your marriage. Mm-hmm. I think one of the most important words here is contentment. Just be content where you are. Like I said, be true to yourself. Be content where you are. Maybe today you wouldn't be able to afford, or you and your spouse would not be able to afford, going out to some luxurious hotel, or going out on vacation. What did you say? Fiji?
That was the first recording I mentioned about traveling.
Maybe you're not there yet. Don't be looking at people's pictures. Well, I shouldn't be telling you what you should do and shouldn't be doing, but you can take this. I don't think there's any wisdom in looking at other people's pictures and where they're going on dates and whatnot. Certainly you can learn from them if you're looking for ideas on how to make your dates or your time with your spouse more enjoyable. That's fine, but don't soak the pressure on yourself. Be content where you are. If what you're able to do now is to go out to the park, have a seat there, and just chit chat while you watch the kid play, or maybe without a kid, whatever you choose to do, that's fine. If you're only able to go out bird watching, just do that and be content with that. Enjoy the moment with your spouse. It's not really about the date night itself. Like Marcy was saying, it's about you two making investments in your marriage and growing the marriage. So have fun with whatever little thing you're able to do now and improve on it, build on it, and watch it grow. It's okay to not be able to afford, that expensive restaurant, even though, you have cravings. It's all right. Don't put any pressure on your spouse.
A quick note on traveling. Since you mentioned traveling, we did mention it the first time we recorded this. Not every season is a season for traveling. Traveling can get really expensive really quick. Traveling can also, again, put that burden of, planning. If you're only going to get 4 days in a place, it feels like it's not that much time. Like I need to make sure the time is like, mapped out so that we get to like maximize the time and like what we get to do in that particular city or whatever. So we're creating an itinerary, and that's a lot of work. Like, and, even if you save the money and you're like, you know what, we're just going to do a staycation. I thought about that. My sister stayed, when she was getting married, she stayed in an Airbnb in the town where we live. And when I went, I was like, oh my gosh, this place is like a little hidden gem. Yeah, we could do a staycation here. I could just drop baby off at, my parents' house because they live right there. And we can just be close by and, but it still costs money. It still takes planning. It's still, at a point, it doesn't feel worth it if you're not willing to also put the energy to plan something and make it special. Because it's not just the Airbnb, right? It's like you're still in your town. So it's like, how are you going to make your town more special than it is on an everyday basis you live there?
Yeah.
So it takes a little bit of extra effort. Not everybody's up for that. So I just don't think it's a requirement. And when it comes to travel, like there are seasons. Some people feel like they have to travel a couple times a year or several times a year. Even once a year might be too much for you in the season that you're in. We are people who like to travel. But since we came back from China, we've only been to Virginia like as soon as we got back from China because my sister got married.
For Audrey's wedding.
Yeah, she got married like right after we got back, and then nothing. Since we've been pregnant and had Charlie. Charlie's a year old now.
We haven't traveled. Our family's been in Mexico. They've been
up, down, and around.
Yeah, right. But we couldn't make it, and it's fine.
It's fine. It's not a big deal, That's the season we're in right now. We met each other traveling, right? We were in another country.
Right.
So we had that season, and now we're in a different season. And I don't feel slighted that we don't go anywhere or haven't been anywhere in a while. That's not the season we're in.
We're working on something else. Traveling is not the priority now. There's a lot happening that they also excite us. So different things can bring excitement within the marriage. Just open up. Look at what's happening. Like I said, be true to yourself. We have so much joy, having our child here and taking care of the child and doing things for the child. That's become a source of joy for us. Much as it comes with work, we enjoy doing that. Times might change. We might travel somewhere. Who knows? But for now, we're just focused on what we have at hand. And we're not willing to entertain any kind of pressure from anybody. Like, if you're traveling, well, good for you. You can keep traveling now. We know what it means to travel. Like she said, we met in China, so it's fine. Just be where you are and be content with what you have. That's what matters at the end of the day. If you want to find fulfillment in your marriage, contentment. That's what the word says. Godliness with contentment is great gain.
Yeah. I think that scripture is definitely one that it's part of the heart behind my, desire and like appeal for simplicity.
Yeah.
Why it appeals to me. is because I know that if you're going to be content with like really like the bare necessities and really be grateful, and if you're going to really think about what you really, really need in life, date night doesn't make the list. Traveling doesn't make the list. Like those things don't make the list. All you need to live: food, water, shelter, clothing, shoes for your feet. Even the shoes is like questionable, but no, we want to be healthy. We don't want to get sick and things. So there are places you absolutely need shoes, and but I'm not giving you an exhaustive list, but my point is the bare minimum really is enough to not just live, but actually to even live a happy life. Like you can actually even live a happy life without much, I try to remind myself because it's so easy to, have expectations and want to
plug into the,
do this and do that. This, plug into societal trends.
It's a trend.
I'm really happy because the things that matter most I have,
Well, we hope that you learned something from this.
Hopefully it was thought-provoking.
Yeah.
And you let us know in the comments, because again, this is just, two people's opinion.
That's all it is.
Is date night absolutely essential for a marriage, for a healthy marriage?
Yeah.
Let us know. If you think it's essential, how often do you need to go on date night? Let us know.
That's right. Maybe date nights have, saved your marriage in a very profound way that you think.
I'm sure there are a lot of testimonies.
Date nights are just, you just can't, they're replaceable. Just let us know. Yeah, we can also learn from you. Why not? All right, thanks for being with us. See you in the next episode. We love you.